Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 789 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
Say what you will, but whatever you say, don't say it's only the preseason, because I got to be honest with you. It's been a while since we got to enjoy the Steelers. And we got our Steelers in, Mike. We got a game in Saturday, a preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. And the Pittsburgh Steelers come home with a victory, 31-25. And I don't, that's really irrelevant compared to all the things that we are going to talk about today. The things that we took from this game, the players that we wanted to see, some players that we wanted to see weren't there. We wish that we could have seen, and some other things throughout the course of the game, and getting ready for Tampa Bay on Saturday here in Pittsburgh. Lots of things to talk about today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, man, Mike, a couple of things from you before we do get started. I noticed your beer neon light isn't back on your dummy. What's going on?
He's having to take a sabbatical from drinking. He's going into rehab, brother.
Don't you have something else that you was putting back there? I can't see if it is back there.
It's not back there yet.
Oh, okay.
No. But the beer's away. My man needs to sober up before preseason game. He had a bit too much to drink.
The question was, Mike, I know this from a conversation we had. You have like some kind of Peruvian skin flute or something like this you're going to put back there. And my question was, where is this Peruvian skin flute that I keep hearing about? I was expecting to see that. I thought maybe you could play us a Peruvian song today, but I don't see anything back here.
No, it's not back there today. Me and the dummy, we had a little intervention before we got on.
All right, yeah. Well, you get me excited and then not.
I know, brother, I know.
And finally, Mike, before we do get rolling for the day, you had a story that I didn't want to hear entirely over the weekend when I seen you, but for the right reasons. Mike, I heard you shit yourself in the bathroom downstairs at the studio. What happened?
I did not shit myself.
Okay.
I went to my favorite sushi place, me and Cinnamon, off the turnpike. Hiraboshi-san gave us some good sushi. I thought we got back to the studio. We were gonna have a little fun time, a little gurgle in the belly. I sat down and let's just say it was a Jackson Pollock painting on the toilet seat and the wall.
So let me get this straight. You had shit on the wall, and on the toilet, and on the toilet seat,
And on my back, brother.
and on your back. Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The moral of the story is don't eat sushi from a truck stop.
My man, you had it on your back. Like a child. When you pull up their onesie to wipe their ass and it goes the whole.
Dude,
That's
like
what I'm picturing.
I want to sit down like, oh, this is going to be a tough one. It's coming right out. I thought I had the angle, brother.
See, that's probably because you sit down when you wipe. I don't know why or how, but I somehow relate this all together, Mike, with you sitting while wiping. But anyway,
I shit down my leg like Travis Hunter shat down his
so you shut down your leg too as well?
No. I was trying to transition into the game to get off of me from painting the wall. Exactly, Coasterholic. Shit happens, brother.
I can't believe. I mean, it was everywhere. It wasn't just the toilet. It wasn't just the toilet seat, which is an odd thing to do. You literally got it all over the wall. I can't.
Back of the tank, the seat, the sidewall, not the wall behind, the sidewall.
Good morning, everybody. There you go. Not like a nice Victory Monday. A nice Victory Monday shit story to get the week going. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to Richard on the board. Welcome to Coasterholic on the board. Welcome, everybody. Richard said, happy Monday. Not a bad showing with mostly backup players playing. Coasterholic, I'm sorry. Coasterholic says Roman made some nice plays. Let's hope it continues. And Coasterholic says, well, let's say shit happens. Richard says Vanilla Thunder released the Fury. Yeah. I hope that's Fury.
That's Fury.
Didn't release a furry back here. I don't know what that means, but it's gross. Mike, I'm having an issue with my camera again.
Oh, shit, brother. I don't know.
I do want to say good morning to Vegas as well. Good morning to Vegas. Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not moving.
Close the camera app and restart the camera app.
All right.
Vegas, you missed a good literal shit story, brother. It was not pretty. Vanilla Thunder had some bad sushi. And, I want to take the Browns to the Super Bowl, and let's just say we missed, like they've always missed. What up, Finch? Do a quick plug here. Finch, the Three Gooners, Friday night. If you watch anything, watch the last 10 minutes of that episode and just think of vegetable oil. Like, if you ask me and my tag team partner, we make up the best tag team. Shit storm, baby. I'm the shit, and he is the storm. Forget typhoon and earthquake, the natural disasters. This is what we are. We're the shit storm. But no, back to like Coasterholic said, and Richard too, like the backups played really well. Rowan Wilson had some nice plays. Very encouraging signs from a lot of the young guys too. I'm sure we'll touch on it here too when Ryan gets back. I thought like people like Roger Jones, he played really well. Like I didn't even hear his name, and I'll take that from an offensive lineman. If I don't hear an offensive lineman's name or a cornerback's name, I'm happy with what I saw from Roger Jones and even from Troy Fatano. The penalty notwithstanding, shit happens. Well, it'll be the theme of the show today, boys. The shit happening. So. Yeah, so young guys played really well. Some didn't that we were hoping that would play really well, but it's early. It's I know Ryan doesn't want to hear that it's just preseason, but it is the preseason. Some encouraging signs from the team, from the what up Tortilla, from the coaching staff. I liked what I saw. Vegas. I really wish it was bad sushi. Like, I don't know what I ate. But I figured sushi would be a good story to throw in there.
Yeah, still nothing, man. I'm still working here. Go ahead and keep it going.
Okay, I'll keep it going. I say, yeah, on the board, like, who were you impressed with in the preseason? Let me hear that right there. I'll go through my list. Obviously, let's start from the top. Mason Rudolph, Mark Malone. If you're out there, huffing the paint might be the way to go, boys. As Mark Malone called it, Mason Rudolph looked really solid out there. I thought he played well, moved the offense up and down the field. Definitely that first drive. He held on to the ball too long and caused the sack, but maybe a quarterback who doesn't do that. I thought he played well. It was nice to see them attack the actual middle of the field. That seam route down inside the red zone to Mount Washington was a thing of beauty. I loved that play. That's a play we haven't seen in a long ass time. Was that hit, that seam route. I liked it. Juan Thornhill played amazing too. I like what he said after the game. He was like, I wanted to come out and set the tone, not just for the team, but for the league of like, this is what you're going to have to go up against us. Hard hitting. So Juan Thornhill, I thought that opening hit was great. I loved it.
Good morning, everybody. I think I'm okay, Mike. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Vegas. Good morning, Finch. Good morning, Tortilla. What's up, brother? Good morning to everybody. Great seeing you on the board. I don't know how far along Mike got on the messages here, so I'm just going to jump in here. Yeah, go ahead.
We got up to we're on Tortillas. That Wilson tackle was crazy.
What's going on, Tortilla, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back. This is Victory Monday. Victory Monday, guys. Steelers do win 31-25. I'm going to jump right on the board. Good to see everybody. I don't know what's going on with my camera. We had a little bit of an issue this morning, but and hopefully, Mike, I got it fixed, but I don't know. I can't promise anything. Tortilla says that tackle, the Wilson tackle was crazy. Reminds me of the James Harrison sack where he threw the guy in his head. Yes, it was an amazing, it's so much stuff. A lot of things to talk about, guys. Let me just get through these messages real quick, Mike, so we can get started. Thornhill did look good back there with a nice stick. I seen a hit that he jarred a ball loose. Also, Mason did look really sharp, guys. Good morning to John on the board. John says Skylar Thomas could be number 3 quarterback. Vegas TJ says Russ is too short to see that route. And John says Jones blocked well. Smith actually called passing plays over the middle. A lot of good things, a lot of encouraging things that we did see on Saturday night, guys, in this game against Jacksonville Jaguars. I think there's a lot of great messages so far, Mike, and a lot of things that, of course, we are going to talk about in these messages. So let's just hang out, guys. We have an awesome Victory Monday today, the first of the season. This is the first of 20 required games that they require us to play. We get the 3 knocked out this month, and then we have 17 on our schedule. So any way you slice it, 1 out of 20 is a good start. Jacksonville, not so much. This Jaguars team ran their first string guys against our second and third string players and didn't look very good at all. But I got to be honest with you guys, it's not what it's about. It's not about winning or looking good in that sense. It's about evaluating your players and seeing what you have at this point. And I got to be honest with you, everybody. There wasn't much from this game that I wasn't excited about as far as evaluating and keeping an eye on young players and new players and such, and a lot of things. I think there's a lot of things to talk about. Even, Mike, I got to be honest with you, since we won, I wasn't even bummed about watching a 70-yard field goal kicked against us at the end of the first half. It was like an early halftime show. And at the end of the day, like I said, and again, these games mean nothing, but if you would have lost by 1 or 2 or 3 points, you'd been pissed off at that 70-yard field goal. But anyway, you slice it. It's cool to be able to see a guy kick 70 yards and make a field goal good during a football game. It's pretty amazing, and the kid's got a leg on him, Mike.
It was still good from a couple more yards out. That kick was amazing. It would have been an NFL record if it was in a game. I loved it.
I mean, just back in the 90s, a 70-yard kick wasn't even thought of. It's not even a possibility.
You hit 55, you had a booming leg.
So just think, what's it going to be 20 years from now, 25 years from now? Our guy's going to be kicking it from 90 yards for field goals. It's amazing. It's incredible how far these guys can kick a football. Good morning, everybody on the board. Good morning, Fearless Steel. What's up, brother? Tortilla says Johnson didn't have the best game, but he did stiff arm the hell out of Travis Hunter. Richard said it was a bad game for Will Howard. You know what? That was kind of my main talking point as I do get started here. How Will Howard really got screwed here, guys, because this was a perfect opportunity for Will Howard to come out and put up amazing numbers, as every other quarterback did that played against Jacksonville's defense on Saturday. It's just unfortunate that we'd be singing the praises this morning of the new future quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Will Howard, if he would have in fact went 20 for 28, had 233 yards and 3 touchdowns and 132 quarterback rating. Guys, we wouldn't have heard the end of it.
No. Been calls to make him the starter if that happened.
Richard says it was a bad game for Will, not being able to play and having a good showing from all the backups. Yeah, again, unfortunate for him, but what are you going to do? I mean, at the end of the day, the guy broke his thumb by taking a snap. That's, I guess, a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But good morning to Kenny D on the board. Let's go Steelers. That's right, baby. Victory Monday. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yeah, my the quarterbacks. Come on. Well, I'm sorry. Skylar Thompson looks great. As said on the board, I think John said he can certainly be a number 3 on this team. And, maybe on bad teams, he could be maybe a number 2. My Skylar Thompson going 20 for 28, 233, and 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 132. And then Rudy, of course, Mason Rudolph goes 9 for 10, 84 yards and the touchdown, and drives the ball straight down the field on the first drive. Not even touched. A couple of things encouraging that I did see in that drive that I loved was the connecting with Roman Wilson and connecting with them early. That was encouraging. Again, we didn't get to see the kid a lot last year. So that was encouraging to see in the first drive. And also the fact, don't get me wrong, he was getting the ball out quick, but the offensive line was doing a good enough job keeping him protected back there. Matter of fact, through all 38 completed passes of the game, there was a lot of great protection back there. As a matter of fact, Broderick Jones and Fatanu, they didn't allow a pressure on a combined 24 pass blocking snaps. Yeah. So that's encouraging. So, Mike, a few of the big things right off the top I thought were encouraging. Some of the smaller things we'll get into are, Caleb Johnson, obviously a bit of a slow start. The running game, it didn't really formulate throughout this preseason game. Like I would have liked to seen a little bit more from the running game, but it seems like when you have the passing games going so well, sometimes it's hard to bring yourself back down and implement the running game when you're just moving the ball so well through the air. And I think that'll start to change. You'll see a little bit of a difference next week against Tampa Bay in the running the ball. You have to take a look at your running game at some point, and a bunch of other things, Mike. So go ahead. I'm going to let you jump in from there.
No, yeah, like it was nice to see that passing game clicking. We've been clamoring for a long time here to have a passing attack that can move the ball up and down the field like we see every other team do in the NFL. And we have it, albeit in one game in the preseason, looking good right there. So I'm not that concerned about the lack of a running game. It'd be nice if we can actually convert a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1 in a run play. I can't remember the last time we did that. It might be longer than the playoff victory drought. But I'm encouraged by the passing game. I liked what we saw. I said while you were fixing your camera too, the tackles were playing really well. They were going up against the first team defense from Jacksonville. Their bookends are pretty good, bookends in the NFL. So I liked what we saw there. They gave up 1 sack, but that was a covered sack, and that was on Mason Rudolph. He should have got the ball out of his hand well before it happened. I like that. Like I said, getting Roman Wilson involved early, get his confidence going. People always talk about you got to get the quarterback involved early, get his confidence. Oh, Mason's been there, done that. It was nice to see them target Roman Wilson early, guy who they have high hopes for and high expectations for. Get him in early. I was smart there, designed to get him in the offense. And this is the way that they were crisp on offense in that passing game. I didn't notice many mental mistakes, offense or defense. Everything just kind of flowed in this game. If a bad play happened, everyone moved on and worked and focused on the next play. It was a smooth game, and they got out healthy, which is always the good thing. And that's, we saw what we wanted to see from a bunch of cats. We see where we need to improve on some of these guys, but we got out injury-free. I will take that any day of the week.
Good morning to Kenneth on the board. Kenneth said, hey, guys, pocket protection was great. It surely was. It surely was. Let me grab a couple messages here real quick. Kenny D says Brian Baldinger's breakdown of why he's Black's play was impressive.
John Deere power, baby.
Black only played 10 snaps, and Baldinger showed his favorite 5 plays of Black. John says best 3 quarterbacks. I don't care about the names. It is about winning, not a popularity contest or fans' emotional attachments. You know what? I agree. I think at this point we're going to take. Of course, we're on a hunt for the best possible quarterbacks we can put back there. We found out with the last 5 years brought of not doing so. But again, there was a lot of other issues also going on as well. We can't just blame it solely on the quarterbacks, guys. But what we did see from our quarterbacks yesterday was certainly Saturday was certainly impressive. As we go down there again, Skylar Thompson goes 20 for 28, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 132 QBR. And, of course, Rudolph goes 9 for 10, driving the team right down the field, 84 yards and a touchdown pass to Darnell Washington. You got to love the size of that guy. And as I told Mike, I said, he dunks the ball, gets the penalty called. This is the time to do it. Do it in preseason and get it out of your system, because once the games start counting, and then we're going to be pissed off when you do. But it was nice to see Darnell get that touchdown catch. It was the guy's just such a rangy monster. Get the ball anywhere in his region. He's probably going to come down with it. He comes down, scores a touchdown, again, dunks, and gets the Steelers off to a good start. First drive, Michael, for the Steelers, they drive down, which then put them ahead because Jacksonville kicked the field goal on the first drive of the game, Mike. But then after that, and again, you don't want to kind of, beat this drum, but it was a good game for the Steelers. It was preseason, it was practice, but those are the little things that you could pick out of it as well. The fact that you're up against Jacksonville's 1s and you're playing your 2s and 3s, and the fact that Travis Hunter really didn't do anything, I thought was kind of impressive for the Steelers, because there was no, hey, there's Travis Hunter. They went out there. They still did their thing. They played football. Caleb Johnson runs them over at one point. So there was a lot of things that were encouraging, Mike, about this game in Jacksonville. Of course, preseason game 1 of the season, will be coming home next Saturday to play Tampa. And we also play Tampa. We have Tampa in a joint practice this week, guys. We get back at it today, back up to Muggy Latrobe. Today, again, it's a 155. Tomorrow, it's a 155 start. And then on Wednesday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be at Acrisure Stadium. A joint practice with Tampa Bay will be held on August 14th at Acrisure Stadium, but it is closed to the public. So that's what's going on this week, guys. Getting ready for the next preseason game against Tampa Bay at home on Saturday. But, Mike, this game against the Jacksonville Jaguars got to be encouraging for you if you are a Steeler fan. I'm watching this, and again, you're kind of waiting for, something to come off. Oh, you know what? This is going to be a problem. Oh, that's a big problem we were talking about. None of those problems really came to the surface throughout the course of this game, Mike. At no point I thought, oh, this offensive line. At no point did I think, oh, Broderick Jones. It never came to that point. There was no, it was a good first preseason game for the Pittsburgh Steelers to have. And it could only get better with all the talent that we had that was on the sidelines. That will be playing in the near future.
Exactly. This was a nice dress rehearsal. Like I said, key thing, no one got hurt. So that's a plus right there. And you're able to see, okay, what do we need to work on from this game to the next game? And the run blocking is going to be a point of emphasis now on this team. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot more runs next week than we did this week, to hammer home the point that, all right, boys, get your asses in line. Let's go. We got to get the run blocking down. Your pass protection was looking really good, so let's work on that. Defense, I want to see, even though he didn't show up on the stat sheet, I want to see more from Derek Harmon. He had a couple pressures. Unfortunately, that interception that he had the pressure on got called away to a pass interference. So that sucked. I want to see more than just flashes and boo, I scared you. Let's get more penetration into the backfield. Y.A. Black early is looking like a steal of the draft. And the way he was moving the pocket or moving the line there, you get Derek Harmon, you get Y.A. Black, Keanu Benton, Cam Hayward. This front is looking like it's going to have a nice depth rotation there. So a lot of good size, but a couple things to work on, run blocking, and let's get the couple of the rookies more plays than a nice play here or there. Be more consistent. They were a first-round pick and a third-round pick, so we got to expect more of them than Y.A. Black, who was taken in the 4th, 5th round.
Mike, you did talk about getting out pretty pretty clean without penalties over the weekend. There was one to cornerback Cam McCutcheon. He did have a soft tissue hammy. That was the only reported injury at the end of the game. Like, and of course, we went into the game without Will Howard, without Calvin Austin III, without Alex Highsmith, without Corey Trice, without Dante Kent, due to injuries on top of the guys, the starters that was not playing. So, I mean, we did see a fraction of the team. And it's odd because, again, a lot of times, especially up to this season, like, I don't remember many years that you didn't have your starting team and come in and run the first series and then pull them out of the game. In my opinion, it's a practice game. Why not put your players in the best position to prepare for the season? But again, they're going to do what they're going to do. Many people may cry and say, well, you don't want to get injured. Well, maybe you shouldn't have got into football. I'm just saying I would have liked to see at least a series of the starters. Let's see Aaron. Let's see him get out there. He's probably not going to play from what I'm reading, Mike, until the Jets game. I don't know how big of a fan I am of that. And then people are going to say, well, he's a Hall of Famer. He's 42. Yeah. And you know what? He needs practice, too, at the end of the day. And if he comes out slow against the Jets, then we're going to be bitching. So I'm a big – I think the guy should at least be out there at some point during the preseason for the morale of the troops anyway. But as, you know, we know, preseason is to take a look at the younger guys, some new guys that aren't quite established yet. But at the end of the day, Mike, we will see in September in New York as that first game gets underway. Mm-hmm. How that goes, because a bunch of guys, we went through the list last week, and again, who knows what's going to happen this week. It was week 1, preseason game 1. It be what it be. Maybe next week we see some more starters, and you know, some people just got to get their head in the game. That's all.
Yeah, I anticipate some of the guys who sat out due to just being precautious with injuries, and you know, like, hey, like you said, let's get some of the other guys in, and it was a road game. You know, let's save some of these guys for the home game. So, you know, yes, you're trying to win games, but also, you know, this is entertainment. You want to entertain your home crowd, at least in the preseason. Let them get out there and see what the hell's going on. Get some of the familiar names and faces out there. Like I said, let them shake the rust off. But I think a lot is going to anticipate or be predicated on how well they do in the live practice. Like Aaron Rodgers says, he looks more to the live practices than he does preseason games. So if he goes out and does well against Tampa Bay in the live practice, we might not see him in the game. You know, fuck it.
It doesn't matter about the teams. It just matters about the individuals anymore. That's where the game is different.
Oh, you know, hey, Jalen Hurts didn't take a single snap last year, and he won a Super Bowl.
I don't
Patrick
care about
Mahomes
him.
Played one snap last year and won
to the Super Bowl. I don't care about him either. I just care about us. Also on the board, Mark Malone does. Mark Malone, I do want to say good morning to you, sir. He says Magnum Rudolph did look good. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says that 70-yard field goal was nuts. Kenny follows it up by saying weather conditions were perfect to make that kick. Again, guys, a 70-yard field goal. In the 90s, 70-yard field goal would have never even been a thought.
No.
So 25 years from now, 30 years from now, when they're kicking 95-yard field goals, don't say you weren't warned. But it was pretty amazing. And again, albeit it was the preseason, but a kid kicked 70-yard field goal in a game. That's pretty amazing, Mike. And good for him. Good for him. But let's get back to the Steelers. No turnovers. No sacks for the Steelers. The Steelers did take a couple sacks, but they didn't. The defense did not provide any sacks. The defense did not provide any turnovers. That goes both ways. There was no turnovers against or for the Steelers. It was a pretty vanilla game, I think, if for lack of a better term, you could call it. Mike, it was uneventful, but the events that we did have, they all kind of they all went in our favor, which was certainly a good thing for Steeler fans for a couple reasons. I mean, it gets the wind in your sails. Football season's here. Got people back out and drinking together, having a good time, wearing their Steeler jerseys and waving their terrible towels. But Mike, things are going to change as we start moving forward here, getting prepared for the regular season. Again, only just two preseason games, Mike, and then it's going to be go time. So Tampa Bay at home, Carolina on the road, and the Steelers get a game 1 victory in the first preseason game, 31-25 in this particular football game, Mike. Some other things that did go down in this game. Caleb Johnson gets 8 carries for 20 yards. Caleb Wilson, the 2 catches for 24 yards, which I think was what most people were excited about seeing.
Yeah.
It was early. They hit him. There was 2 nice plays. I liked what I seen with those Roman Wilson catches.
Mm-hmm.
Beanie Bishop leads the team with tackles with 5. Peyton Wilson's body slam was a favorite moment of mine during the game. Juan Thornhill's hit that jarred the ball loose was was a favorite play of mine. Of course, Darnell Washington's touchdown. What else? What else do we see in this game? Like, we've seen some Cole Holcomb. So there's a lot of different guys. I mean, you're just watching little things here and there to find, what you want to find out about the guys that you're interested in. And all in all, again, Mike, you could walk away from a preseason game saying this was a victory for us.
Yeah. Not just on the scoreboard, but everything that we wanted to see. A lot more good than bad. And even some of the bad was like, I'm not really worried about right now at this point, if you know what I mean, to where, I think it's stuff that can be cleaned up and worked on. But my God, like even some of these backup receivers were looking really good. Now, granted, by the time they came in, they were going up against backups. Well, but okay, you can see that these guys have some ability. I like what I saw from Rock Taylor. I like what we saw from who was it? Keshawn Williams on that long touchdown. That was
Williams
a nice. So there's going to be tough decisions at the bottom of the roster. Like hopefully you can.
How do you not keep a guy that does a backflip? I mean, come on.
It's going to be tough, man. You're hoping that you can sneak some of these guys onto the practice squad, but these guys are fighting for jobs not just for the Steelers, but for somewhere else in the league to make a 53-man roster. So right now, it's looking like there's going to be a lot of tough decisions to make.
As of right now, I couldn't agree with you more, man. When things are good, but again, these are good problems to have. You'd like to have these problems instead of feeling like you're short. And man, we need so much on this team.
Right.
I don't feel that this team needs so much right now. I just think that this team needs a good, healthy run this season. A team that could stay healthy for a significant period of time, which is something that we haven't been able to do over the past few years. Mike, again, from the very beginning of 3 years ago, we were losing guys very early in the season, and we missed them all year. Rookies, all 3 of the years, draft picks for those years. So again, Mike, we get out pretty healthy out of the first game of the season, the preseason. I'm sorry. Let me grab a couple messages here on the board. Kenny says, I think Arthur Smith opened up his playbook more and tailored it to the talent they have, and it's working nicely. Absolutely. And one thing that's encouraging, guys, again, everybody that you're going to have this conversation with is going to say, well, it's preseason. Nah. Anyway, listen, the fact that you were up against Jacksonville's ones and these were your twos starting against them, that's the encouraging part, I think, to take away from this whenever they do throw out it's preseason. Of course, that, just fuck off. Just listen, because again, at the end of the day, you're going against their ones. Trevor Lawrence is going to step up under the center here in a little less than a month when the season kicks off. Well, guess who you went out and had success against? This team's number ones. This team's Trevor Lawrence. This team's Travis Hunter, all the way down the line. So those things are encouraging again for the Steelers. And again, Mike, can you imagine if our starters were out there banging heads with their starters, DK Metcalf pulling down Aaron Rodgers passes and JPJ and Slay and Ramsey. Who knows how this game would have turned out.
Oh, yeah.
But for what it was, guys, that was a success. I say we take that. We carried over to Tampa Bay. Again, it's preseason and, the results don't matter, but you want to see this team keep moving in the right direction. Like as we talk about, you always want to keep building in the right direction. Yeah. Don't do 2 steps forward, 1 step back, anything like that. Stay healthy, keep moving in the right direction. And I feel good about this team as of right now. Mike, there is not many gleaming holes that's bursting through saying, again, this is a big problem. The problem that many considered was Broderick Jones. And again, Broderick Jones and Troy Fautanu did not allow a pressure on combined on 24 pass blocking snaps. That's encouraging, again, facing starters from Jacksonville.
Like Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker, they're pretty good DNs in the NFL. They're not obviously not Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, but they're that next level down. Those guys are really good tackles or DNs, and they handled them well. That Fautanu penalty, I'm not too worried about it. My God, he punched the guy in the shoulder and it came up. Just work on that technique in practice. He'll be fine. But I liked what I saw. That second team worked really well against the first team. And it's nice to have Mason Rudolph back there. You can see that he is a competent NFL quarterback. And that's what I like to see out of my backup, my number 2. Just someone who can go in there and run the offense and keep it moving. And Arthur Smith, man, I liked the way he was using the different formation, using different players. Everyone was getting involved in the offense. You didn't know, everything's going to be a deep route or a check down. They were using the middle of the field, short, intermediate, deep passes spread in. It was a nice offense that you can see, and it was the competition later in the game, but the way he was calling offense, keeping them on their toes, that little screen pass for the touchdown, he set that play up throughout the game, and he called it at the right time. This is what I keep building towards the regular season, and you can have a very nice, really good top-tier offense just by doing these quick little passes that they were doing, mixing it with the deep passes, mixing it with the screens. I like the way he called the game, the different formations, using every tight end that we had available, we used. So maybe we might have to go out and get 4 more tight ends, Ryan, because we saw a lot of 12 and 11 and 13 personnel out there. All the tight ends.
All right, Mark Sheriff. We'll get to
I
that.
saw that. I knew
we'll
you
get to that here shortly here, but let me get back to the board. Mark Malone says, no way. Rodgers should be tripping on shrooms on the sideline until September, he means. John says, tough balance trying to preserve Rodgers for an 18-game season and beyond, and team gelling before week 1. I could see both points of view. Mark Malone says, yeah, Williams did look good. 17 games, John says. And 44, little Bruner on the field. Yes, that's true. Little Carson Bruner, Mark Bruner's son, the former Steeler tight end, looked good out there. One of the rookies, Mike, one of our 7 draft picks from this season. A lot of things. Again, there's a lot of things that you could take away from this game and feel excited about. But again, at the end of the day, you walk away saying, okay, it is preseason. It's a whole different ball game in September once football starts. And again, Mike, the Jets, who look good in their preseason game as well, getting the win. Justin Fields, nice rushing touchdown. It didn't seem that they were having all these problems that I keep hearing about with the Jets' offense being having serious issues and Justin Fields having serious issues. Again, Mike, they look just fine. We'll see them here again in a few weeks. But Tampa Bay is next up on the menu, guys. The Steelers will be today at a 1:55. Here about an hour and a half. They'll be kicking off their training camp practice today. They'll do it again tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, they will be Tampa Bay will be in town for a joint practice at Acrisure Stadium that is closed to the public. But that's what's going on this week. And then, of course, Tampa Bay will be back on Saturday night at 7 o'clock to take on our Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. So that's what's going on right now. Vegas says three tackles for Bruner, 2. Mark Malone says, for the love of the Almighty, please let us be able to pull off a screen this year.
we might have got R1 for the year, brother.
Sticky B says first point has to make everyone happy. Didn't see much of that last first quarter points. Absolutely. And you know what? They
first
just did
drive points, baby.
They just did it so they just went right down the field. It was great to see. And he hit damn near everything. Again, going 9 for 10 for 84 yards and a touchdown. That's why I really feel that Will Howard, he was the biggest loser in this game. Mike, if you have to take away winners and losers from the very first preseason game, I'd say that Will Howard, with his broken thumb, was the big loser because, again, Mike, a combined 29 of 38 would have been the completion percentage of the 2 guys that did play. If Will Howard could have came in and had a decent game, again, we would be riding into Pittsburgh with him on our shoulders this week, talking about we have the quarterback of the future. It's not the case. Mason Rudolph, again, he does have an amazing first drive. He hits Russell Wilson. He doesn't only hit him, he hits him. Roman Wilson. He doesn't only hit him, like he hits him 2 times. One on a nice play down the middle over the top. That was a great play. And then over to the left was a nice pass over to him as well, Mike. And also hitting, of course, Darnell on the big touchdown. Great looking drive. And this was said by Mason, Mike, after the game. He says, it feels good to be back in the black and gold, man. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Mason. It's good to see you back. And if he's going to continue to play like that, I do not mind having him as our backup quarterback, Mike.
No, I like it. I like what I saw from him, man. Just efficiently move the offense up and down the field. I fucking loved it. And you know what? It's given me confidence if Roman Wilson, I'm pulling to you here, if Aaron Rodgers.
Should I tackle uncontrollably? Because
you do it every fucking show. I do it occasionally. There's a difference here.
You do it every show. I just don't say nothing. I'm going to start embarrassing you.
Yeah, but no, it gives you confidence that if something goes wrong with Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph can come in and move the offense. We might not just have 3-game Mason Rudolph anymore.
Donald, welcome to the board. Donald says, "We're Mark Bruner a wide? He was not. He was a tight end. He was drafted in 1995. He was a tight end. He wore number 87, and he was our starting tight end for quite a few years. As a matter of fact, I think he was out of Washington as well.
Yes, he was. Yep.
Phil Steele says, Donald 87. Okay, he says, yeah, he was a tight end. His rookie year was the Super Bowl season. Him and Cordell Stewart were both taken in the same draft. And his first season, he played in the Super Bowl. Sticky B says Mason Stash looked like he was picking up lot lizards 3 at a time.
I tell you what, some competition now, brother. I don't like it.
I like
he
that. He
got the money too.
He's got the Tom Selleck. It's a nice. It's a dark mustache, Mike, and the
villain era of Mason Rudolph is taking us to the promised land, brothers.
I don't know about that, but I do know that Mason had a nice start in this game, Mike. And my concern would be this: if anything, I don't want to say this because the personnel. I thought the defense could have certainly done a lot more in this game. Like, but again, I know that they didn't really do anything to. They were just kind of going out there and running basic defense. Yeah. But again, that was not a very good team, and the fact that they went out and they were able to score some points against us. And again, this is a depth issue. This isn't anything of any seriousness, and I'm really digging to find something that was negative about this game. But I guess that would be it. I would have liked to see maybe more pressure on their quarterback, being able to get to him at least once at some point throughout the course of the game. Make a sack or cause a turnover, which neither happened. And again, in a sloppy. It was raining all day there prior to, and I thought, there would be some kind of element issue where a ball might squirt. But you know what? At the end of the day, Mike, again, game one, I'll take it. No turnovers, no sacks. We'll see how things look next week. And again, these guys aren't even going to be the guys that most of them won't even be playing here in September. So again, it's a non-issue. But if you're trying to dig, that would be, maybe one of the things.
Yeah, our third and fourth teamers were on defense. Were kind of letting up Jacksonville's third and fourth team move the ball on us. That was my big worry coming out of the game too, because holding with their first 3 drives to field goals and punts, I'll take that. We did all right on that offense or on the defensive side. So up until we started rotating in more and more lower guys on the depth chart. And that's when the defense became a worry. But the offense, so when we put more and more lower guys in, the offense kept moving right along. So that could be an encouraging sign as well of like, okay, we got some guys who potentially, we can sneak onto the practice squad. If a starter gets hurt, we at least have someone down at the bottom of the roster. He's not going to be a complete loss. I'm okay with it.
Mike Broderick Jones has added 10 pounds since the start of camp. You know what? Let's go with whatever works for you, brother. Again, he looked good on Saturday night, Mike. Again, him and Fatanu having a good outing at the ends of the line. And at the end of the day, if adding a few pounds on is going to make you bigger and stronger, by all means, do what you got to do, Broderick. You get yourself prepared. Mike, and you remember he was going on a little bit whenever camp started about how he did lose the weight. I lost weight. My feet are fast. My hands are fast. That whole conversation. So now he's added 10 pounds back on. How is that going to affect him?
It all depends on like where he built that muscle back onto. He builds it back into his legs, give him a better base. I'll
probably
take that.
Build it with cupcakes, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, you get 10 pounds in the lower body there, get a nice strong anchor, and you're able to hold your own against those guys. Keep the we'll see. He looked good. There was like a couple pass rushes where the guy got up under his shoulder pads and was starting to push Broderick Jones back, but Broderick was able to keep himself anchored and not give ground and keep the guy controlled in the frame to give Mason and Skylar Thompson time. So whatever he's doing is working right now. So like you said, just keep going at it and just refine the technique. Maybe Broderick Jones does better in game situation than he does in practice, because like I said, man, like I didn't hear his name at all during the game. If for those 2 drives he was in there, I'll take that. I will take it.
Yeah, a lot of encouraging things. Again, it's easy to get excited about this game, and I'm guilty. Don't get me wrong. I'm very excited about the way this game went, and looking forward to moving forward here. Let's jump on the board for a couple messages here. Sticky B, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, at least we know if Roger goes down, Mason is competent. He should have not taken that sack, but at least it would not be a loss of a season. You know what? I agree. He's really came a long way. And people that was saying that Mason was capable of leading this team 3 seasons ago, I don't think he was. I just didn't think that the guy's mind was there. But you watch him, Mike. Again, this was against first-team defense players for Jacksonville. Very vanilla. Don't get me wrong. Basic formations on both sides of the line. But at the end of the day, watching him go out and execute, I mean, he drove that ball down the field like Tom Brady. I mean, seriously, he went 9 for 10, 84 yards and a touchdown. That drive wasn't very different than watching a Tom Brady drive in preseason. Yes, I mean, again, I don't want to have to keep repeating that, but with some rebuttals will be. But at the end of the day, Mike, this was a guy that I do feel that if Aaron Rodgers has to go out for any reason, the guy that I seen play yesterday or Saturday in the first quarter of that game, I feel confident with that guy stepping in and playing quarterback.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with Mason coming in. Not just everyone wants to point to that 3-game sequence where he saved the season. Go back to the COVID year when Ben was out and we had to play the Lions. Like, he looked really good because the last time we saw him, I think, was a couple years prior. And that was like the whole him and Duck, and Mason looked scared behind the offense. So no one knew what to expect. And he came out there and was leading that team.
He doesn't look scared. I think that was a very impressive thing.
I think that game against the Lions, when he was thrust into the game and he moved that team, we should have won. But, we had a couple key drops by people like Deontay Johnson had a fumble. Frymuth had fumbles. That would have won games. And Mason played well, and that gave him confidence. And he didn't really play that much. Came in a couple years ago, won those games. And then he saw that, hey, I can do it, at least here in Pittsburgh. He went to Tennessee last year, didn't look good, but that team was fucking god awful.
I got to be honest with you, though, Mike. I got to be honest with you. Him going to Tennessee might have been the best thing in his career. Because, in life, when you're doing something and things kind of become a struggle, and then you step away for a while, and then you kind of come back with a fresh vision of what it is that you're doing. Like, say you're working on the deck, and you there's a piece of wood that you just can't get to do something you want, and you put it down, and you come back the next day, and you just kind of get it to go right in the place where it needs to be. I think that's the kind of effect that might have happened with Mason Rudolph with this past season with him by going to Tennessee, because that guy, the way he looked in the first quarter of that preseason game, like he hasn't looked that confident, in my opinion, to this point as a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think that might have been one of the best things for him, and I think it was psychological. But the fact that he's able to come in again against a bunch of first string players on the Jacksonville defense, Mike, it was able to methodically move the ball down the field, 9 of 10, 84 yards, 1 touchdown pass over the middle to Darnell Washington. It couldn't have been a prettier drive. And again, Mike, the look that you get when you're watching Mason Rudolph is not the same look I got when I watched him 2 years ago, or whenever he had the 3-game winning streak that people go on and on again. Mike, this guy is different now. And again, I haven't said this to this point since he's been here, but I feel comfortable if Mason Rudolph has to step in as a backup and play football this year. From what I've seen, unless he comes out and shits the bed and comes out as a totally different player and loses his confidence and his heart and whatever the hell the guys, the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow lost in the Wizard of Oz. I just think if this is the guy, he might just be there now. And again, that's what I always felt was his issue, Mike. I didn't think it was his abilities. I always thought it was up here between his ears. He might have went to Tennessee, got that confidence he needed just by having that switch. Now he's back in the system. He sees things differently now.
What I liked from what I saw from him was the offense. He fits this offense so well. Hitting his 5, 6, 7 step drop, putting his foot down while he's making his regions back pedal, and then firing it out once he sees his guy. You can see he has an NFL arm. He can get the ball out there to the target where it needs to be. That in route to Roman Wilson, there wasn't that much separation. He threw it right where it needed to be, on time with good velocity. That pass to Darnell Washington, he put his foot in the ground. He knew right where he was going, and he threw it to where only Darnell was catching that ball. It's kind of hard to overthrow a 6'7" guy, and he threw it right where it needed to be. So Mason's been building towards this. We saw it in that Lions game. We saw it a couple years ago. I think going to Tennessee, realizing that, hey, and in Pittsburgh going, hey, we want you back. I think that upped his confidence even more because I think he was confident when he left here. I think he showed the NFL, hey, these are 3 high-pressure games. I went out and won. I can do this. Goes to Tennessee. He's like, oh, I can do it, but maybe not with a shit team around me. I'm going to go back to a team where I'm comfortable with, and that's going to make his confidence even higher than what it once was. So yeah, I'm comfortable with Mason. I think we're going to win 10 games with Mason as the starting quarterback.
Well, let's hope that that's not the case. But
But if things go bad, I'm more comfortable with this quarterback room than I've been in a long ass time.
Like 20 of 28 for 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, 132 QBR. That was Skylar Thompson. A lot of people. I mean, we knew that we were going to see a lot of Skylar Thompson this weekend, Mike. There was no two ways about it. We knew once Will Howard went down, we knew Mason was going to get the start. But once Mason was done for the day, it was going to be basically all night. Skylar Thompson, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Of course, we just picked him up in the offseason, Mike. He spent time, I believe, in Miami. He's been in that carousel of third-string quarterbacks that we've been kind of bringing in and sending out. And at the end of the day, Mike, Skylar Thompson, he just might have himself a job in the NFL somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be us, Mike, but I think the kid went out there and put on a clinic Saturday night. Again, 20 of 28, 233, 3 touchdowns, 132 QBR. This could have been Will Howard's night. It's very unfortunate. Again, as I'm watching this night play out, even Logan Doghead or whatever his name was, he even got to come in at the end. I don't think he completed any passes, but you know what? He still came in. He looked good. There was no mistakes, nothing that would have cost the team in a football game. But again, Mike, Will Howard, if he participated Saturday, more than likely would have played well as the other quarterbacks did. And just another unfortunate situation because, again, Mike, we're not going to see this kid before the draft. Let's say he comes in and does minimal amount of work against Carolina to wrap up preseason in a couple of weeks with a brace on his hand. I mean, that's one thing. You're not getting the full what you want to see of the kid. I want Will Howard in the position that I see in the other quarterbacks in Saturday night. That's where you need to see this young quarterback. And again, I feel for him because he's getting robbed of a lot of opportunities here. And again, Saturday night could have certainly been one of them.
But that's the nature of the beast in the NFL, man. Nothing's guaranteed for you. But what I'm doing if I'm Pittsburgh, I start leaking to my local stooges that, hey, we're keeping 4 quarterbacks this year. We like what we see from all of them. We're keeping 4. We're keeping 4.
But why don't you keep somebody that you're going to use? I mean, you can pay a guy that you know you're not going to use, or you could have somebody that's valuable somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you leak that you're keeping 4, and then hopefully some team will panic and offer you a trade package for Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
And then the team that oh, man, our quarterback depth, I'm looking at you at the Saints. Your quarterback room's not looking that good.
But they got their eye. They got their eye on Manning. I could tell you.
I don't know. Grandpappy said he ain't coming out.
That's what I'm saying. Not now. They got a plan set for him. It's not this year. It's going to be in the future.
Yeah. But you never know. Another team in the NFL is going to be seeing what Skylar Thompson's doing. You start saying, hey, we're keeping 4. We like the guys that we have. You never know what's going to happen in the NFL. We're keeping 4. Then you start fielding phone calls. Then you ship someone out for draft compensation.
John said, I'm sorry. Richard says, another big win for the Steelers in this game with no injuries. The only injury we endured was cornerback Cam McCutcheon. He did endure a soft tissue hamstring issue. Doesn't seem like as much of a problem. So you're right. That's a great thing. Like, again, we've just dealt with the injury bug so much over the past few years. It's good to get through game 1. There's no guarantees for tomorrow or what next week is going to bring, but we do know that we made it through the first game of the preseason with no injuries. That's encouraging for the Steelers, certainly for having injury issues every year up until this point, Mike, over the past 5 years, give or take. Kenny says Jones is playing in his natural position. He looks comfy. Sticky B says, what you know about Sticky B? Sticky B says, overall, hard to complain after that game Saturday. Great showing. I couldn't agree more. It was fun. That was what we needed as Steeler fans. And I got to be honest, everybody knows it was preseason, but everybody's feeling they feel good. They do. There's not things that we're all here to complain about on Monday morning. This is Victory Monday, and there's a lot of good things to talk about, and that's a plus. Vegas says they might have 2 trade pieces now in the backup punter and a third-string quarterback. Both of them guys are rocking the ball. I got to be honest, Mike, between Cameron Johnston and Corliss Waitman, these guys are rocking the football with their foot.
Oh, they are. I liked what I saw. Carlos Waitman booming it. Cam Johnson doing some directional kicking inside the 20. You can see the little of both of what they can do well. I like it. It's going to be a battle, but I think Cam Johnson's going to get it unless he completely shits the bed.
Yeah, that's my thing as well, because he was he was the hot foot. He was the starter last year. He did get injured. He lost his position to Waitman because of the injury. I think he gets the job this year. I want to see him rock the ball, Mike. He has mad control over his punts too. That's what I can't wait. He can bounce it. He could he puts spin on it. He's a magician with punting the football. So I do think he makes it, and I'm cool with that. But you know what? I would be cool with either one of these guys if it was Waitman or it was Johnson. I just want to see Johnson now. That's all, because he was the original starter. That's where I'm at. But if Waitman beats him out, Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm fine with that. I'm more than happy going with Waitman moving forward this season. John says every team that needs a quarterback wants Manning. The whole family will determine when and where he goes. I agree. I think that I agree. I think that Pappy's move is leaning toward trying to get him on the Saints. I don't know why. Just everything I see has a connection with the damn Saints with him, and I do know that they're probably going to be bad. They're probably going to be in a good position to get a high draft quarterback whenever it is time for young Manning to come around. Which, again, Pappy said it's not going to be this year. He says, so don't tank this football season expecting to get Arch Manning. Jamal, what's up, brother? And always great seeing you, Mike. Oh, okay, you got that. I was loud for a second, man. Jamal says, D. Washington look good. Bro, let's trade Moot for number 2 receiver. That's another question. I think we're moving forward. I'm still kind of curious about that. That would be one of the issues, I think. Of course, wide receiver number 2. But let me ask you, Jamal, was there any signs of possible starter from Roman Wilson for you? Is there again? It was 2 grabs, 24 yards. It's hard to make a case, an argument for somebody that caught the ball 2 times. But did he look like he could possibly be on the other side? Again, we didn't see Calvin Austin. He was out with his injury. We see a little bit of Woods, Mike, but. What do you guys think? Is it a potential? Could he be the number 2 or number 3 wide receiver? I guess you're going to say, because they're going to put Calvin Austin number 2. If they don't go get somebody, would you be okay with Roman Wilson being the number 3 on this team?
I would be, just by going just off this game right here, the way they were spreading the ball out and using everyone in the different formations and the different looks. I want to see how everything clicks these next 2 games. But from this small sample size in this offense, I liked it, man. Everyone was getting a chance to catch the ball. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 different people caught a pass. You really don't need a true number 2 if 18 people are catching passes in the game. Yes, it's just preseason, but you can get a hint and a feel for what the offense is going to be. The ball is going to be spread around to everyone.
I'm going to just continue to talk. My screen did freeze, Mike. I'm going to fix it here in a second.
Okay.
But I mean, you want the name. Everybody wants a name. But at the end of the day, they were able to move the ball. And my concern will be this. If we would have lost this football game and we weren't feeling great as Steeler fans this morning on this Victory Monday, and other things were issues, and there was certainly more things to pick apart than what there is to pick apart this morning, then would we feel that way? Would we just, once it starts compiling and you, oh man, we have this issue. Oh, Broderick wasn't getting it done at tackle. This was happening. That was happening. Then you start saying, and we need a number 2 receiver. Are we going to put our guards down, Mike, for a week at least on this number 2 receiver here in Pittsburgh because the Steelers came out and looked good in their first exhibition game? Or is this something that is going to continue to be a conversation in fans across the country? Might say, why doesn't this team have a number 2 receiver if they are just a player or 2 from making a decent run in the playoffs? Do we just feel good about this team right now because of the way Saturday went, or is this going to become a thing eventually, Mike? And again, if we look good now, we look good next week, we look good against Carolina, we might not complain about wide receiver 2 until mid-September.
Yeah, if in preseason they keep spreading the ball around, they're moving the ball, scoring points. No one's going to say anything. Go at these first 4 games to open up the season for the bye. Go move the ball up and down the field, score points. No one's going to say anything. Week 8, when say I don't know who we play, but using that as an example. Oh no, we lose that game. The passing game really wasn't doing much. Then you're going to, why did we go out and get a receiver too? But like, well, what about the first, the 7 games before this? I think that first game where the pass game doesn't look good, everyone's going to be bitching and moaning about getting a wide receiver too. But,
although we have been bitching and moaning for 2 seasons, so I mean, you got to be fair that it's not like it's just going to come out of nowhere. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you see, you're getting a glimpse of what these offenses are going to be, spreading the ball around to different receivers. You don't need a true number 2. You don't need another guy on the outside there. You just need people who can go in and get open, and you can get them the ball in this offense. And right now, that's what we're seeing is guys beating the man across from them, guys finding the soft spot in the zone, and the quarterback getting them the ball no matter who it is on your depth chart. You're just, getting the guys the ball, and you're letting them make the play. And that's fine. Not every team is stacked where they have.
Devil's advocate, plays that devil's advocate, though. It was the first game. It was against the Jacksonville defense that wasn't very good. I mean, say what you want about first team, whatever. That was not a very good team. They weren't very good last year. They're just not a good football team. So, once you start, and again, the goal of what the Steelers are trying to do is move forward. And by moving forward, I think we'll be figuring out ways to beat Buffalo, finding out ways to beat Kansas City, finding out ways to beat Detroit, who we're going to see this season, and win those those bigger games. Now, basically what I'm asking is, do you feel that the personnel we have, wouldn't it be more beneficial when it comes time to play in January to have a number 2 receiver than to have what we have? Again, it's working good now, but again, we're working for work into January as well, not just August.
Yeah, we are, but these guys were, you like to say, why are we going out and getting tight ends? We drafted these guys for a reason. Well, the same thing would be applied to our wide receivers. We drafted these guys for a reason. We had a vision of getting Roman Wilson in the 3rd round, Calvin Austin in the 4th round, that these guys could potentially be the outside and the slot receivers. So why not give them the opportunity to be those guys before we go out and get some? You draft guys, and you have hey, we like what we see. We can put him on the outside. Deontay Johnson, when he was drafted, was a 3rd round pick, and immediately stepped in to be
Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph's looking good. Why do we go out and get another quarterback every single year? So it just doesn't play out. I mean, some things are doable, some things aren't. But I get what you're saying, Mike. You grab a couple of these messages, and I'm going to bounce off and try to get my camera working. I don't know what the issue is this morning. But Vegas says that punting Bill Burr is Jack too. Yeah, he's a big dude, man. No 2 ways about that. John says if Thompson continues to look good, he shouldn't be the one traded. Again, what do? You keep 4 quarterbacks? And if you do, what do you gain by that? What do you gain by having all these quarterbacks? Again, it's just kind of odd. Kenny says Roman Wilson's blocking on Travis Hunter was impressive too. It sure was, man. It sure was. There was a lot of things, again, that were impressive, Mike, on Saturday night. And Kenneth, I do want to say good morning to Kenneth on the board as well. Always great seeing Kenneth. Kenneth says Roman showed he could get open so far between him and Calvin. They could split the number 2 spot. Let me ask you guys on the board. Put your opinions up there. Do you believe that we are well enough equipped to kick this season off? Let's say that the season started next week and we had the Jets. Are you okay with the personnel? Are you okay with what we have lining up on the opposite side of DK Metcalf on the offense? Some people think that we do. Other people think that we don't. Throw your opinion up on the board. I'm interested to see what people think, Mike, because I always think that you could you're adding all these people. You're adding all these tight ends. You have 53 quarterbacks. You have 54 tight ends. And again, you still don't have a number 2 wide receiver. People can say, you know what, we drafted these guys. Let's give them a chance, which is a very good point. You give them a chance and let's see how they do. That's how Antonio Brown came around. That's how all these players that we drafted over time comes around. They work their way through the ranks. So maybe these guys, maybe it's their time, Mike. Maybe it's their time. Throw up on the board. Do you think that we're okay with the personnel that we have at the wide receiver room right now? Let's say preseason was ending and we were getting ready to head to New York next week. Are you okay with what the Steelers are going to put on the field? As of right now, Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and try to mess with this camera. I should have it done in just a short period, but just bear with me.
I'm gonna, like John, you're saying Thompson looks good. He shouldn't be the one traded. I say if he keeps looking good, he's the one who should be traded. We know Rodgers is going to be number 1, Mason number 2, and by the time you get down to your third string quarterback, this guy really hasn't done much in the league anyway. By that point, your season is going to be over. I'd trade him now and get the most value that you can out of him, because he's not going to be a part of this team's future, where Will Howard potentially could be our long-term backup, take that Mason Rudolph role. You know, you can't just be about what's for this year. You have to look ahead for what's next year too. I just disagree with you there, but I get where you're coming from. But if I can get assets for him to build the team into the future and keep the young guy who already had plans for to build towards the future to be a backup role, potential spot starter in the league, I'm trading the guy who's not going to be here next year regardless. And, you know, I think Roman Wilson's going to end up being our number 2. Him and Calvin Austin will be that hybrid number 2. Those teams say, hey, we have 1 and 1A. We're going to have 2A and 2B, and Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. I think they both have skill sets that can be used to exploit defenses. I think Calvin Austin's going to have a monster year this year. We saw it last year. He was, open on a lot of plays last year. We had a quarterback who couldn't see him. Right now on this roster, we have multiple quarterbacks who can see him because they can see our line, and they have the ability to throw across the middle and get him open. So yeah, I'm comfortable with this receiving core because Arthur Smith's offenses are not designed with a true number 2. It's the number 1 guy, your 2 tight ends, your running back, and then people are going to get open because you're going to start keying in on these guys. So that's going to free up your number 2s, 3s, and 4s receivers. So I'm okay with the offense that we have. But if we have a chance to go out and get someone a whole hell of a lot better, I'm not opposed to it because you always want to get better. But I'm comfortable with what we have. And then Ryan's still having trouble with his camera. Here's a name we didn't talk about yet. That I noticed on social media getting a big push. Max Hurleman, the rookie running back out of Notre Dame. I don't think he's going to make the roster. I think it's going to be Jalen Warren, Johnson, Gainwell. They keep 4 running backs. He might make it. He showed some flashes. He's becoming a fan favorite. I wouldn't mind seeing him get more looks. So we know what we have with Gainwell. We know what we have with Jalen Warren. I want to see some more of these younger guys down the line get a lot of playing time. I want to see him get more playing time. Him and Trey Sermon, I want to see those 2 get a load of the looks next week against Tampa Bay. I just intrigued by some of these guys at the lower end. Rock Taylor had a pretty good game as well. I think he had like 2 catches for about 30 yards, I believe. So, and then you had him, Keyshawn Williams had a pretty good game as well. So there's depth at that receiving core. Maybe they carry more than just 5 wide receivers. Maybe they carry 6 receivers this year and keep spreading the ball out and rotating guys in to create mismatches with the secondary. Maybe carry 1 less linebacker or 1 less D lineman, and have more skill position players out there to give you more flexibility on offense. I think our strength is our starters on defense, and our strength on offense is the depth at the skill positions. So I'd rather have a little less, 1 less D lineman on the roster or 1 less linebacker and have 1 more running back or wide receiver to actually let our quarterbacks get playmakers the ball in their hand.
All right. I think I got it figured out, Mike.
All right.
Yeah. So welcome back. Sorry about that, guys.
And while you're back, I'm going to step away. I got to get some water. I have not talked this much on this show.
Wait, stop. Where did you leave off at?
I was just responding to like John. I talked about maybe Skylar Thompson might be the guy that you trade since he's not the future of this team.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
Try not to mess up the toilet again, huh?
No promises, brother. No promises.
Mike shat himself the other day. Yeah, another day in paradise, everybody. John says Rogers could get out anytime. Thompson could be the third emergency quarterback, and Howard could be on the practice squad. Yeah, I mean, Will Howard's situation certainly complicates things. No two ways about that with his injuries. You certainly wouldn't. You would have loved to seen him not be injured. Again, going into Saturday night's game would have been the perfect opportunity to get a look at him. We might have all been out buying our Will Howard jerseys for the future, had that been the case. I know that everybody was every quarterback was successful. Again, Skylar Thompson, 20 of 28, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 132 QBR. Broody, Mason Rudolph goes 9 for 10, 84 yards, 1 touchdown on the first drive of the game. So very encouraging things that we are seeing there. On the board, guys, let me see. Kenneth says Roman showed he could get open so far between him and Calvin. They could split the number 2 spot. What do you guys think? Who do you are you satisfied? Again, it's easy to be satisfied after a win. It's easy to be satisfied after most things go well. But are we satisfied, guys, ultimately about our roster? If we went into battle today against the Jets to kick off the season, are you okay with the number 2 receiver spot being what it is? Basically, it is kind of it's being split between Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. Are you okay with that? From what I've seen, Mike, from what I've seen of Roman Wilson, albeit it was a small dose, 2 catches, 24 yards, I was happy with that. Of course, I want to see a lot more. We are going to see a lot more this weekend against Tampa Bay. But are you okay with that? And also another thing on the board, guys, what was your favorite moment of the game? Was it the backflip, Mike? Was it Darnell Washington's slam dunk after the touchdown celebration? Or was it even the Jacksonville kicker kicking 70-yard field goal before the halftime? Before halftime came around, throw up on the board. What was your favorite part of the preseason game Saturday? Mine, Mike. What was yours? What would you say that your favorite part of the Steelers win was?
Damn.
I like Thornhill's stick.
Yes.
That was
up there. I like the touchdown pass to Darnell Washington.
Yeah, the touchdown pass to Darnell Washington was perfect.
Middle of the field, the Thornhill hit in the 70-yard field goal. As a fan of football, how can you not like seeing something that's never happened before?
Absolutely, and that's what they're saying on the board. Mike, Field of Steel is liking 70-yard field goal. Sticky B says Thornhill sticking that wide out in the middle of the field. Mark Malone says Vanilla Thunder's letting out some chocolate himself. Again, if you missed the beginning of the show, Mike did shit all over the bathroom, the restroom downstairs at the studio. Not only getting it on the toilet, he got it on the toilet seat, on the wall, and on his back, like a toddler. Yeah,
I was getting a shower with cold water and I was sweating. That's how bad the bad sushi was.
So there you go. Mark Malone loved the Mount Washington touchdown. So again, a lot of things to be happy about, but again, I'm looking forward very much so this Tampa Bay game on Saturday to see what else we could see. Again, hopefully we see some more starters Saturday. I think at some point we should be seeing more starters, but this team, from what I saw, Mike, if we were out in the game situation and our third string was playing against somebody else's second or third string, I think that they would do okay. But again, this is far from what it is that we're going to be seeing here in just 3 weeks, Mike, whenever the Steelers do travel up to play the Jets to kick off the season. So there's a lot that I want to see still moving forward, Mike. Anything from the group of guys that we got to see on Saturday night that you're still craving more? Mine would be Caleb Johnson, Mike. Mm-hmm. I need to see him more on Saturday. I need to see more of a running game on Saturday. Yeah. Not because you got to feel good about the passing game. So it isn't like I want to see the running game on a necessity from what I've seen this week, but you just still have to see the running game at some point because it's a big part of your offense. And once the season gets going, you got to be able to run the ball. So this week, Mike, I cannot wait to see Caleb Johnson and a little bit more of this Arthur Smith offense.
Yeah, with Caleb Johnson, you can see, the scouting report was there. He can find a hole. He was able to bounce it outside on a couple occasions. A willing blocker, but not a great blocker. You saw him. I think he got bowled over, but he put himself on the line. And then the passing game, he caught one, dropped another, and had trouble leaking out on the sack that that Mason had. So you can see there's stuff that he needs to work on. This is stuff that he was not asked to do for 3 or 4 years at Iowa. It was just take this ball, find your hole, and go. And you got to work on that stuff in the pros. And he's not being counted on to be the every down back, but they're not shying away from putting him in those situations. So they're not letting the defense know, okay, when he's in, it's just going to be a run. We'll do whatever out of here. We're going to expect him to make the play. So they're not being afraid of his limitations. They're putting him out there in those positions to work on that in live action as well. But yeah, like you said, I do want to see more out of him.
Now, let me ask you this. I asked last week, do you think that this running game can be as successful as the previous running game? Again, it was nothing to write home about, but again, it was a successful running game it was able to do. Mike, and of course, to have a well-balanced offense, you got to be able to run the ball as well as pass the ball. I think that obviously, Mike, with this 3 tight end set, using different receiver looks, different things that we're doing, we have our share of passing.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, is this offense or is this running game going to be able to keep up with the passing game to keep it a well-rounded offense, Mike? Because again, a lot of play action out of this offense. A lot of that's going to come off of you got to have a little bit of success from the running game to get people to bite. If they don't respect your running game, that's a whole different story for you. So is this running back tandem again? Kenneth Gainwell, we didn't get to see him. I don't think. I didn't see him at least. Is this running back room good enough to keep this offense well-rounded enough to make this Arthur Smith offense excel?
I'm hoping so, because we had 2,100 yards last year, 4.1 average, 14 touchdowns. They have to hit that to keep the defense honest. But maybe my hope is this pass offense will open up the run game, where these teams won't put in their big beefy run defenses. They'll have more lighter sets to deal with the passing game, and then we can start hitting those run games. Then they bring in their beefy guys. Then we hit them back with the pass game to keep them off balance. So right now, usually in Pittsburgh, we're used to the run game setting up the pass game. This offense might be set on the pass game opening up the run game. But it was weird, though. They were still respecting the play action when we were having trouble running the ball.
I do want to say good morning to Jen on the board. Welcome, Jen. Sticky B says, I think with the 3 quality backs on the roster, we will see a lot of riding the hot hand this season, which I'm not against that. I think a lot of times when somebody does have the starting position locked up, that's one thing. But you know what, Mike, I got to be honest with you. Everything that Jaylen Warren has done, which has been great stuff, if Caleb Johnson continues to improve, and of course the Super Bowl champion winning Kenneth Gainwell on this team, Mike, I have no problem going with the hot hand if that's going to be what keeps the running game effective when the season does come around. So it's going to be interesting in that sense, Mike. Also, there was now it was brought to my attention by RB, who's usually on the board. I don't see him today, but RB, he told me, Mike, about that Mark Sheriff interview, and Mark Sheriff was talking about how this multiple tight end offense that Arthur Smith is bringing, how it could possibly wreak havoc on the NFL, Mike, because of the size of the linebackers, just the way that the game is evolving, and linebackers are getting smaller and faster to keep up with the passing game. Mark Sheriff was saying that this could work for the Steelers and can create havoc in the NFL because the bigger linebackers, the bigger, stronger guys, to stop something where you're bringing 3 tight ends, multiple running backs, you're kind of going backwards in a sense, but teams aren't going to be as equipped to play that particular kind of team because, again, you're building towards the offenses that you see around the league now, and a lot of teams are going smaller, faster linebackers.
Yeah, to where you can beat up on them, but what that's going to have to work hand in hand with our tight end room is that offensive line getting off the ball, firing off their blocks, bullying people, and we didn't see a whole lot of it. Well, we know that hybrid first, second team offensive line was in there. They were getting pushed back in the run game. That 4th and 1, we got stuff for a loss or no gain because we couldn't get a single push, or a couple other plays where they just collapsed the middle of that line and were able to snuff out the run. So if the O-line can get the run blocking down, yeah, because your O-line and your tight ends are beating up those smaller guys. You just have to hope that our big guys are quick enough to get to the spots before their small, quick guys can slide under the blocks. But you start beating those guys down, you're not going to want to tackle someone. You're not going to be that excited, in the third, fourth quarter, throwing yourself up against these big tight ends and big linemen again. So you can beat them down, and then, again, that will soften them up in the pass game too, because they're going to be beat down physically from all the punishment from the run game. How tired are they going to be once we start rolling out our wide receivers and hitting the pass catching tight ends? So I see what he's saying, but for me, it's all predicated on how well that offensive line is going to be in the run game, because that's where it starts. Not in your tight end group. It's going to start with those big uglies up front, those 5 guys.
Jen says she's so excited, trying not to get too hyped like Kenny's preseason. And I'm thinking that too. I'm watching the game over Saturday, and I thought to myself, you know what, this looks really good. But again, it's not our first rodeo. So, we get prepared to play Tampa Bay this weekend, guys. Again, camp picks up today here within the hour. Tomorrow, also 1:55. And then on Wednesday, they do have a in-house practice with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Acrisure Stadium that is closed to the public. And then, of course, the Buccaneers will be back on Saturday for the second preseason game for the Steelers. Looking forward to that. Again, there's a lot of things that you still want to see moving forward. I want to see a lot more Caleb Johnson. Again, Caleb Johnson's supposed to be a big part of this offense this upcoming season. And again, guys, let's say and I hate to be the one that always does this, but let's say you lose Jaylen Warren early for the season. So for that reason, as good as things went Saturday, I certainly still want to see. There's a lot of things that I want to see moving forward against Tampa Bay and then against Carolina. Again, what if Jaylen Warren blows out his knee early, Mike? And so again, there's still a lot to be seen on this team. Caleb Johnson. Who else, Mike? Who else do we want to see more of this coming week that you just didn't get enough to see of them this past week?
Derek Harmon.
Derek Harmon for sure.
It's a 3-4 D end where we were playing base and vanilla. Didn't get to see him in all the other starters out there. I want to see more out of him, more than just like what you would get out of an old school D end in the 3-4. I want to see some more production, but I'm not too worried right now with either of those guys. It's still early because you can't get too high, you can't get too low this early. Now, game 3 in the preseason, if they haven't improved any, then I'll be really fucking worried.
Mike, do you think that the starters would? I would be more satisfied if it was just a series. Let's say they came out in a third preseason game. Would you be satisfied if the team went through the preseason the way that it has and just does minimal amount of work with their starters in these first 3 games? Again, their practice games, on one hand, it is to see guys that aren't accomplished, but on the other hand, why wouldn't you take advantage of a practice game? Again, you practice to get better. You always got to practice as a team to gel.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to at least put your team through a series of a practice game to prepare yourself for a real game, just as a human being? Okay, let's just say that Aaron Rodgers is a god who talks to gods or whatever his problem is. But the fact of the matter is everybody else isn't, and it would benefit everybody else to get in a real game experience with a real crowd, with real people chanting while he's doing his cadence. And you know what I mean? It's a whole different experience. Why wait till week 1 to throw that all out there and hope for the best? I just think that, Mike, I at least want to see these guys, and I don't know if we're going to see Aaron, but one thing though, Aaron did say he is willing to participate.
Yeah.
But I would be more comfortable if I got to see starters somewhat throughout this playoff, or this preseason run.
Yeah, I would at least a series or 2 this game, and then shut them down the rest of the way. But I agree with like what John said earlier. It's that tricky situation. You now have to manage an 18 or 17 games, 18 weeks. What a lot of these guys
when
can
you
do.
Sign for that paycheck, them guys are quick to sign, but to play
it's the coaches. The coaches
to actually play football is the problem to me, and to me that's kind of an issue because again, this is why you're out there, is to play football.
Oh no, it's the coaches.
If you got to play 18 games, you got to play 30 games. The fact is, you're a football player. You get millions of dollars to do it. And I
Yeah,
know
but
before you say it's a coaching one more time,
yeah,
I heard you 6 times, but I'm
it's
just
the
saying
coaches. It's the
when you see
coaches.
this in the league, it's frustrating because again, quick to sign the check, but maybe I'll stay out another week. Again, it's what you do. You only do it 18 times. What's the problem? I want to see the guys play. And again, I don't want to throw a bunch of guys out there that hasn't played all off season in game one. And again, hope for the best and wonder
Yeah.
why things don't go my way.
Yeah, but you can see, like you said, Rogers wants to play. These guys want to play. But, the coaches and the medical staff want to make sure everyone's healthy for the season. But also, on the same hand, you want to make sure you see them out there with a couple live reps. It's just trying to manage everything. And you don't know what the owner is saying, too. Hey, I'm paying these guys a shit ton of money. I want them there for the games that matter. So,
And again, we don't know that he is saying that.
yeah,
We
we don't know either way. I would like to see him out there, not for, a half or anything, but a drive. Just a drive each in these last 2 games. Get in, get out.
You could always say injury. Well, you know what? Trevor Lawrence went out there and he's fine. And the guys, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And the 1%, okay, well, you do play football. So, again.
It's not like back in the day when they were playing like a whole half and then guys were
And
getting
that's
hurt.
not even what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't even want him to play a half. I just, again, you'd like to see him again, like play in a game simulation type before the season starts. That's all. Instead of hoping for the best. In week 1 when they go out there against the top cornerback and Sauce Gardner and these other players and hoping that we could put the best game out there, why not have a simulation and go through it with the crowd yelling and people in your ear? And again, you're trying to hear the quarterback, all new players, guys that never played together in a game situation. So again, that's where I come from, Mike. Not a big argument, but again, I want to see the guys. Yeah. That's why I watch the team to see them put the best players on the field. Let's get to some more of these messages here, Mike. John says, Jen, I agree, but I didn't want to write the same comment. I am still in the real show me mode. Sticky B says, I need to see more Roman Wilson. Good start, but I hope him to take the job, not just win it by default. I say, okay. And then John says, if Rodgers and company don't play until week 1, it could be a slow start for the fight. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be in week 4 going, if we would have just played a little bit in preseason, this might not be so bad. But again, if it's the coaching, then we'll blame it on him whenever the time comes. So just keep that in mind, guys. Also, Jen says, did you see Florio take on Cam's contract? No. What's going on with Cam's contract, Mike?
Last I saw, he's still holding in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that kind of got sprung on us as the team was hopping on the bus to head to Jacksonville the other day. Cam picks a great time to bring this to everyone's attention. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they were working on it a little bit, Mike, and it just hasn't gotten to where Cam is happy, where both sides are happy. So this will continue on, Mike. He's I don't know. What do you think he's going to get taken care of before the season starts?
It's going to get taken care of.
And why didn't this get taken care of last season when he did this? What's the problem?
Well, they extended him out, and now he wants to rework it, and they've been reworking it behind the scenes. It's just now Cam's not happy with it, so he's gone public with it.
Yeah,
like a little baby that he is, the little I need all the attention on me kind of guy, the me first guy, not the team first guy.
Yeah, he was definitely taking no comments. I certainly seen that.
Well, didn't he? Isn't he the one who said, Aaron Rodgers, you're either a Pittsburgh Steeler or you're not. You're here or you're not. And now look at Cam. He's the one just hanging out on the sidelines now that the contract negotiations broke down.
So anyway you slice it, there you go, guys. Also, Chris Boswell also in talks for a new contract. Again, for Cam, whatever, figure out his money. But again, I just thought it was real shitty, the timing on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, you're on the way to Jacksonville and the story breaks. So, it is what it is. End of the day, as Jen says on the board, she loved the physicality of this game. It was a fun game to watch. If you're a Steeler fan, not many things to harp on about things that we wish were better. I mean, there are things that I want to see more of next week. There are players I want to see more of next week. I got to see more Black. I got to see more Roman Wilson. I got to see more Caleb Johnson. And people say, well, who are you looking forward to seeing? I'm looking forward to seeing all these guys, Mike. These guys are all a very important part of this team moving forward. And I'm prepared and I'm ready to see everybody, whether it be starters, whether it be backups, whoever the case may be. I'm here for it because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be here in Pittsburgh on Saturday at 7:00 for the second preseason game of the year. Mike, a few other things about former Steelers around the league. Najee Harris still can't open his left eye. apparently
Jesus.
entirely after having the firework accident at the 4th of July. Najee Harris having an injury to his left eye, still cannot open it entirely.
Yeah, I'm never going to a fireworks show ever again. That's insane.
You know, you don't want it to happen to anybody, but at least to happen to a guy that just left the Steelers.
Right? I'm
You know.
glad you said it because I was thinking the same thing.
You know, I mean, this
Yeah,
is something
right?
that
It
totally would
sucks.
happen to our players, and
Yeah. Yeah.
also Kenny Pickett may be out a little bit longer than he expected with his hamstring injury, Mike. As the Browns, I didn't think looked that bad. Shador Sanders looked okay the other night,
Yeah.
but Kenny Pickett may be out longer with his hammy, and also Izzy, former Pitt player, Abanikanda. He debuted with Green Bay this weekend. He had 5 kick returns for 147 yards on the kick returns for an average of 29.4 yards for Izzy Abanikanda with his new team.
I always liked Izzy. You know, as a Penn State guy, watching him run the ball was fun to watch.
Vegas as well. They said it was a superficial eye injury. Yeah, he still cannot open his eye entirely. And then finally, Mike, this one I don't know how to feel about. I really don't know how to feel about this. Former Aliquippa high school standout and graduate and former Pitt star MJ Devonshire signs with the Baltimore Ravens over the weekend. That's right here from Hall of Fame High School, where Darrell Rivas, Ty Law, Mike Ditka, and even in the city limits, Tony Dorsett, but he went to the neighboring school and Hall of Fame High School, Mike, MJ Devonshire signing with the Baltimore Ravens.
I always hated Devonshire. Those back-to-back picks against Virginia, I thought those were overblown and overrated.
But of course, always a great athlete. They're getting a great athlete. They're getting a great guy in the secondary. Did a lot of good things at Pitt. Of course, the big interception Mike's talking about against West Virginia. So good for him. But I don't know how to feel about MJ Devonshire signing with the Ravens.
It doesn't feel right.
It's dirty. Let's see. Mark Malone. Dude, come on. I've lit off thousands of fireworks and never had this happen. We had firework wars when we were kids, shooting them at each other's faces, for crying out loud. And also, Mark Malone says, drunker than warlords. Absolutely, guys.
I had one year, I tied together 7 bottle rockets. I tied it together to like a string of 500 firecrackers. You're going to let the firecrackers light off and hit the bottle rockets. My friends had to tackle me. I was drunk, and I swear, Mark Malone, I think is going to work. The math. I think when we come out to visit, when we bring you your pallet of paint, we try this one, brother. And I guarantee you, neither of us are going to have an eye injury like Najee.
And this is the guy. Just remember, Mike is the guy that couldn't get his shit in the toilet this weekend as he sprayed his ass all over the toilet, all over the seat, and all over the wall. So yeah, go by what Mike is saying there.
Don't eat truck stop sushi right off the turnpike, okay?
Vegas said Harris needs to call Wesley Walker. He only had one eye. A couple of things here, Mike. So these are some numbers from some guys also on the team. I know that Nichols looked good for the Steelers, the running back, Mike. He had 6 carries for 31 yards. He was averaging 5.2 yards per carry. That guy Hall was he had 6 carries for 7 yards. Wasn't nothing amazing, but just some of these names that you've seen out there. Of course, Keyshawn Williams, Mike, with his touchdown catch. He had 2 catches, 55 yards, averaged 27.5 yards per catch. Hurlman with his 2 catches, 29 yards and a touchdown. He does the backflip in the end zone.
Yeah.
Let's see who was the other one. Was it Trey Sermon?
Trey Sermon, he caught the screen pass for the touchdown.
Trey Sermon gets 4 catches, 28 yards. He has a touchdown, and then of course, big Mount Washington, Mike. Mount Washington has 1 catch for 19 yards, and it was the 19-yard touchdown. Also, again, nothing much to talk about as far as the sacks, as we did not record a sack and we did not force a turnover. The punters both look good. Johnston kicking 2 kicks for 94 yards, one of those inside the 20, and Corliss Waitman having 1 punt for 57 yards. So, again, a lot of encouraging things that we've seen, but I got to say I'm ready for Tampa Bay, Mike. I'm ready for this next game because it's just there's still more things that I want to see and still more things that I need to see that are It happened Saturday.
Yeah.
But are they going to continue? Like this Roman Wilson, I want to see him get a lot of targets in this game, Mike, because I have to see more Roman Wilson. Because at the end of the day, this number 2 wide receiver issue isn't going to go away until somebody steps up and grabs that spot.
Yeah, and he had a nice first showing. Hopefully, Calvin Austin can get in there too, so how he's going to fit in to the new offense as well. I don't think we're going to see DK. I would like to, at least for a series, get all 3 of those guys out there and play.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So there's a lot left to be seen, guys. Again, Steelers at it within the hour. Back at practice today in Latrobe. They'll be doing it tomorrow with the 1:55 start, and then again Wednesday they will be having a practice, an inter-squad practice with Tampa Bay at Acrisure Stadium with nobody allowed in. Mike, it's going to be closed to public, and then Tampa Bay, of course, will be back on Saturday for the preseason game. A couple things, Mike, before we do move on here. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they finish in a tie with the Orange County soccer team 1-1. They'll be back at it on this upcoming Saturday against the Charleston Battery. They'll be hosting them. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, they split it with the Cincinnati Reds. Pirates start a new series today against the Brewers in Milwaukee for 3 games. The Pirates come in with a 51-68 record, while the Brewers are 73-44. Paul Skeens will be throwing on Tuesday. One side note about the Pirates, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban was cited at a Pirates game last week. Of course, being a Pittsburgh native, one could only hope that he was here to buy our baseball team.
That would be awesome. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would like to see that happen. We need a new owner.
Let's grab a couple of these messages here, Mike. Martin Malone says Harris's vision is so poor he can't even aim the fireworks in the right direction. We'll see. We're keeping track. I kept receipts though. I got to be honest with you. All the talk about Najee over the past 4 seasons, I kept my mouth closed. Again, I just want to see if this group could match that group's numbers. That's all. With the 1,000 yards all 4 years. It isn't the number to go by in the league anymore. But with that being said, no other running back did put up 1,000 for the last 4 seasons in a row. So I got receipts. I'm gonna keep track and make sure that this running back that everyone loves so much more than Najee is able to produce those numbers and beyond. That's just my own personal vendetta because again, I like Najee from the beginning. Was he great? No, but again, for what we had, not a good line. Not a good offense, not good coordinators, not a good quarterback. He still managed to get his thousands every year. So, whatever. Jen says these practices seem to get chippy. Can't wait. Vegas says I didn't know we got that other Ohio State guy. Who's that, Mike?
Trey Sermon.
Oh, okay. He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy? That Derpy. Speaking of Ohio State, I was ready to choke him. What was it? It would have been the game before or the game Friday night. He's going on because there was that injury and they called the game.
Oh yeah.
Was it Falcons or somebody? And Derpy, he's texting and crying and moaning. And why do they even play these games? They should just put robots in if they're going to call the game every time somebody gets injured. And I thought, Derpy, it's preseason,
right? The guy's out there twitching.
What the fuck, dude?
He's having his body going through a death rattle. Derpy's like, get him off the field. Get the body bags.
I thought, what the fuck?
Stomp on his corpse.
So he's going on, and he's texting Finch, and he's texting me, and and then he's texting Finch, and Finch is doing his 3 Gooner show, and it's beeping through, and Finch is getting pissed off, and I thought, dude, for one, it's not even our team. Who cares? For 2, it's preseason. Guy got hurt. Let him call the game for crying out loud. But Derpy, yeah, big Ohio State guy, Mike. I don't know what he likes. He's bitching about Cam. Cam was an Ohio State guy. Cam's Ohio State, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's bitching about this, bitching about Cam.
Derpy should be focusing on having a job.
Yeah. John says an NFL player who puts his body, which is his livelihood, at risk playing with fireworks, doesn't care about being successful.
He wasn't playing with them. He was at a festival and they had fireworks or a 4th of July picnic.
So somebody else shot it into his eye?
Well, the display, there was a malfunction with the display and fireworks shot out into the crowd.
Oh, that sounds like a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. But
But he
anyway,
was
I
sitting
thought it
there
was him.
vibing. No, he was sitting there watching, and he got in the like something a malfunction happened. He got hit, and a couple other innocent bystanders all got hit.
I should be
But it's
mad
fun to make
payday.
fun of. It's fun to make fun of the millionaire.
Oh,
I'm rolling. with the
it's
story.
not. I didn't realize that was the case. I thought it was his own stupidity.
No, no, I'm still gonna make fun of him.
Well, this isn't as fun.
No, it makes it more fun for
Fort
me.
Vegas says, please let Cuban buy the Pirates. He remembers the We Are Family days for sure. And then also he follows it up by saying, damn near broke your neck, rub some dirt on it and get back out there. That's right, baby. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
The 2dumbyinjers.com. Remember, everyone, we got all of our social media links over there. We got all of our merch over there. We got the dumb thoughts over there. Check it out at the2dumbyinjers.com.
Hey, I thought that would have been a bigger story. Pull that up real quick. I want to read that before we go off today, Mike, about Najee's injury. Because, again, I think most people were under the impression that he blew up a firework and it went in his eye. I mean, that's kind of a big thing. I mean, geez, oh, man. Listen, if somebody shoots a firework off and it goes in your eye, I would think that would be a serious case. I'm like, pull that up real quick before we do get into the trivia of the day. Today is going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers trivia. We'll get into that in just a second once Mike gets this pulled up. But I need to find out who's the bottom of this, Mike. Who is behind Najee Harris's injury? This is insane. I thought it was like Pierre Paul who blew his hand off.
No. Yeah, I just have like a firework mishap and then at a function somewhere. There's like no real reports. Just saying superficial injuries. Was present at an event where a fireworks mishap took place.
And how many people got hit?
Oh, hold on. Was resulted in multiple injuries and sent others to the hospital. The USA Today doesn't have a count on how many people it happened to, but it was him in multiple injuries and others sent to the hospital.
That's like way worse than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he was like playing in the backyard.
No, it wasn't the Pierre Paul one. No.
Let me finish what I'm saying. I thought he was playing in the backyard with fire, with the family, like you do it with kids at 4th of July. And so that's real bad, Mike. That's kind of a thing, ain't it? I think that, geez. I don't know. I don't want to get into lawsuit talk, but somebody shoots a firework in your eye. Somebody shoots a firework in your eye. That's not good.
I'm suing someone.
Guys, let's get into the trivia of the day. Of course, we do play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in our week 2 of the preseason. This week comes Saturday, Mike. It's going to be short. It's going to be sweet, guys. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Everybody on the board. Here we go. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers played each other 12 times in the history of these two teams. Just 12. That's right, just 12. How many of the 12 games did the Pittsburgh Steelers win against Tampa Bay? Is the trivia question of the day, guys. Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on YouTube. Guys, question of the day. The Steelers played the Buccaneers 12 times. 12 times. Since the Buccaneers became a team in the late 70s. Mike, guys on the board, how many times did the Steelers beat the Buccaneers out of the 12 times they played? A couple different answers on the board. Fearless Steel saying 10. Sticky B saying 8. Throw your answer up on the board if you got it. If you have a guess, throw it up there. How many times did the Steelers beat the Buccaneers? What's your thought process, Mike?
I know they were bad for a long time. Bad for a long time. Then they had some success, and even when they were good, we beat them. I know. I'm not Googling, Phil. I'm not. I clicked away from the Twitter.
Why do you always click away from Twitter at trivia time?
To have something for
that's even more suspicious. The fact that you click away from Twitter every day.
The fact is, too, I get them wrong 80% of the time anyway.
But I think that's strategy. I know that's more
often do I go to head-to-head.
That's more calculated. It's more calculated than you know. Believe me.
I'm going with 11. Fuck it.
11. They beat Tampa Bay 11 out of 12 times. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right, let me lock you in on 11, Mike. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right. Mike says 11, guys. Phil still says 10. John says 8. Sticky says 8. question of the day, guys. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh played each other 12 times. 12 times in the history of the two teams. How many of the 12 wins did the Pittsburgh Steelers win against Tampa Bay? There's some 8s, there's some 10s. Mike says 11. Guys, the correct answer, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat Tampa 10 out of the 12 times.
Oh, well
10
done,
out of the
Steel.
12.
I was close.
You're right, Mike. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't win a game for the first few seasons of their existence. They were the joke in the league. They were the old pumpkin-colored uniforms, which back then were a joke, but now people like them. So,
hell yeah.
Back then, everybody made fun of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers colors. But yes, guys, that was the answer. The Steelers won 10 out of the 12 all-time matchups against the Buccaneers. And we get them in the preseason this week, Mike. Again, throw the records out the window. That's the kind of stuff that don't matter in these particular games. But in this preseason, we're looking forward to seeing all these young players. And again, I think we're really missing out on that opportunity because Will Howard, this would have been a perfect preseason for him. Like just the way that the quarterbacks played against Jacksonville in Florida on Saturday night tells you Will Howard should have had a pretty good game. And then also, Mike, we still have a couple remaining. So we're missing out getting to see that young quarterback. What a shame. A shame for him, but it be what it be.
Them's the breaks.
It's the breaks. The beard pick 6, baby. The creamsicle uniforms. Again, Vegas, people hated that uniform. It was the ugliest uniform, and now fans, they love it. They love when people come back with that uniform. When Tampa Bay wears that throwback uniform, Mike, hit your volume, man. So people, it's always good to see these throwbacks, and especially the Tampa Bay creamsicle uniforms, guys. Mike, anything before we do start getting ready to wrap things up for today?
Yeah. Since 2017, the most preseason touchdown passes. Tim Boyle with 18, Patrick Mahomes with 14, and Steeler legend Skylar Thompson with 14.
See, it sounds to me like Patrick Mahomes is playing in the preseason, but hey, he seems to make it all the way to the end of the year with this long season. But hey, you know what? That's a different story for a different day, guys. Do want to say thank you so much to everybody for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. You too. Thank you, Phil. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. Also, anybody at home, maybe you're on your phone, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you just have your earbuds in. We want to thank you too. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time to do it all over again. Get ready, Mike. Again, Steelers have just today and tomorrow of camp, and then Wednesday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be in town for a joint practice at Acrisure Stadium. We will not be able to attend that. It is closed to the public, but then the Buccaneers will be back on Saturday for the preseason game against the Steelers at 7 o'clock on Saturday. So, guys, we'll continue to get ready for that, Mike, and continue to dig into things that we can't wait to see, things that we want to see, and things that we need to see from this Pittsburgh Steelers team moving forward as we get just yet another game closer and another week closer to that opening kickoff against the New York Jets, Mike, in September. I got to be honest with you, it's gonna be here fast because preseason went fast, or offseason went fast. Preseason's going fast, Mike, and we will be in New York getting ready to take on Justin Fields in the New York Jets before you know it, man.
Can't get here soon enough, brother.
Can't get here soon enough. Also, do want to say, Mike, I just want to make sure that you did get you got your toilet all cleaned up down there. Then
it's all good, brother.
I still don't know how you missed the whole entire toilet. I don't even know how that happens, Mike. I can't even imagine.
There are multiple rounds in the chamber, brother.
How you got shit on the wall,
on the sidewall too. That's the best part.
Wow, but I think that's going to be it, everybody. Dude, if you haven't had a chance, check out our social media pages on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even over at TikTok. And if you haven't had a chance yet, hit the like, share, and subscribe button below. It helps us out. We greatly appreciate it. Mike, one more time, anything before we take off for the day? And hey, what's your final words on this preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Don't get too high, don't get too low, but, there were a lot of good signs that we saw. And one thing I liked was the crispness of the execution. There were no pre-snap penalties. There were no idiotic miscommunications in the secondary. Everyone seems to be on the same page right about now.
There was no overall the sloppiness wasn't there.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Yes,
And you know, and there's some lag here and there on teams that you see in the preseason, Mike. But everything as you said was crisp with the Steeler team on Saturday. So hopefully they continue to do that moving forward. Again, some of these, a lot of these guys won't even be on this squad here in about 3 weeks. So just continuing to evaluate. See what the young guys can do, see what the rookies can do, see what the newcomers can do, see if Roman Wilson can continue. I want to see them continue to get the ball to him. I want to see Johnson running the ball. I want to see the offensive line continue, Mike, protecting the quarterback. Again, they did a very great job. The 2 tight ends did excellent on Saturday night. And again, the defense, hopefully we'll start to see some starters sprinkled in there. But guys, this is what it is. It's we're here. It's game 2 of the preseason. Tampa Bay coming up this Saturday. Carolina next week, and then a week off, and then they will be up to New York to start the season. It's all good. Cody, how you doing, brother? Always great seeing you, my man. He says RIP to Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis. One got Etienne. One got killed by one Thornhill, and the other one got killed by Peyton Wilson. Kind of worried me for a second there, but then I got you, my man. Great seeing you, Cody. Hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you had a great Steeler game. Mike, speak now or forever hold your peace, man.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Can't wait to do this again tomorrow.
Absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again at our regular time. We hope to see everybody then. For Mike in the Steeler Central Mobile Studio, for myself, the 2 Dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.